Well, hi there, Andrew Bell with you once again. The first full calendar month post the commencement of the restrictions around COVID-19 has passed, and it gives us the ability to do a snapshot comparison to each of those months in the first quarter of this year. Looking at this in two major areas of Gold Coast real estate activity. The first, residential sales, and beyond question, we seem to be in a void period of time where I believe most people have been terribly distracted by all of the ramifications of restrictions and are trying to assess how everything COVID-19 is impacting on them. As such, we're seeing very little new property coming onto the market for sale. And although buyer inquiry halved, the intent of those who were still inquiring was very strong. These were people who had recently sold their properties or people who had moved from interstate and were very committed to buying alternative properties. And so our residential month saw us sell more properties than we listed. It meant levels of available properties for sale was less than the end of March. And it's starting the month off with this stock shortage. There was no evidence of any impact on real estate pricing throughout the month of April, and there were some very noticeable sales. Although sales volumes were down around 1/3 overall. Now in the commercial sales arena, the situation was similar. And in fact, it was quite surprising to see just how many investors surfaced looking for quality tenants who were not affected by COVID-19, and there are many, and this was providing properties with security of income and good yields. Overall, the sales activity was again down around 40%, but no evidence of any price adjustments. Now, the second area of real estate activity is, of course, property management. In the residential property management space, we did receive a significant amount of requests for rental assistance. But through the month, we were able to navigate through all of that and sort out those with genuine cases of hardship and work with both the tenants and the landlords. This saw us end up with around only 7% of properties that needed some rental assistance. What has been noticeable is in the leasing area, where a large number of properties came out of Airbnb and general holiday letting pools, with owners knowing that they would not be able to lease their properties with all the travel restrictions, and so chose to go into permanent tenancies. This has seen a jump in vacancies, rising from around 1,200 properties 5 weeks ago to around 3,500 at the end of April 2020. Yet in the last 2 weeks, there's been an enormous jump in rental inquiry, and surprisingly, this has not come from Gold Coast tenants moving from perhaps one property to another, but a significant influx of interstate people who've decided, as a result of changes to their personal circumstances through COVID-19, that now is the right time to make their move to the Gold Coast. We've been leasing an extraordinary number of people from Melbourne in particular, followed by Sydney. And as such, our leasing for the month was almost identical to the month of March 2020. In the commercial management space, we've of course been hit so much harder, with many businesses affected by forced closures of their businesses. Around 40% of tenants have sought rental relief, and likewise, we are wading through that to see how we can assist all those genuinely affected. It's a very stressful time for both our landlords and our tenants. And without clear direction from government, which has been a little slower than we would have liked, it's made it just that much harder. But we have been wading through that progressively. Now, interestingly, there's been quite a strong surge over the past 2 weeks by people seeking to rent properties in the commercial space. We've been very surprised to see the number of people seeking to open up new restaurants, believe it or not. Whilst other inquiries are just people reshaping the size of their premises they're either operating from now. Some are businesses that are looking to downsize, whilst many others who are beneficiaries of COVID-19 are actually looking to increase the size of their premises. So a lot of activity. But you know, we've started off the month of May even stronger. You have that sense of, as restrictions are easing, that people are starting to get going again. And so we're starting to see some more listings come through, but buyer inquiry is very strong. Good results at our auctions, which are still being held in private environment, but we see we've now been opened up to conduct restricted open homes. And so we're moving ever so close to being fully operational as we always have been. Now, we'll keep you abreast of everything that's happening in our fortnightly e-newsletters, because I know how keen people are to keep the finger on the pulse and know exactly what's going on in all areas of the market. So with careful strategy and a lot of understanding and sensible negotiations, We ended April 2020 in a much better position than we might have otherwise have imagined. As I've said a couple of times, we know that there is a long way to go, but with over 45 years experience behind us, through so many tricky economic situations over those decades, we've been able to bring a lot of experience to the fore and to put great strategies in place which fortunately are yielding good results for our clients. Well, we have weathered the events better than most would have expected. But let's keep supporting each other, as the economic impacts will need all of us to step up. Let's do as Australians have always done, where we come together through droughts, fires, floods, and now a pandemic. So best wishes to all. Look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time.